brain. Welcome into his frequency. Enter at your own risk. Come be at peace with me. Ask the Paul, where we rise and don't fall.
Welcome back to another episode of Baxter's Buzz. I am your host, Baxter E. Hall. Welcome to my brain. Welcome to my frequency. Enter at your own risk. Today, I have a special guest, a returning guest, but with some new credentials since the last time we spoke. She is the owner of Transformative Mind Counseling. She's also the founder of Michigan Black Therapy Fund. She's a core faculty at Saybrook University. Dr. Asia Burks. Welcome back to Baxter's Buzz.
Hi, thanks. Thanks for inviting me back.
Oh my goodness. If it was up to me, when the first time you were on, I was like, oh, we need to do one of these every week. Like I was so excited and really just getting an idea and a peek into that world was something that I hadn't had a lot of access to or a lot of experience with. And you probably helped me more than you even realized because I deal with anxiety. I didn't know what it was. I didn't call it that 2 years ago. But some of the advice that you gave the viewers, it definitely was important for me. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Glad I was helpful.
No, for sure, for sure. And so May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I think, right, just like most of these types of acknowledgments, this is an ongoing thing. It's every day. It's 365 days that we should be aware of these things. So, and since you've been counseling, tell me what you've noticed that's changed as far as like the stigma around it in the Black community specifically, from like the time you started practicing until today.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've been practicing, which is wild, but I would say I think the stigma still exists, but more people are willing to seek out help. So regardless of the stigma, people are willing to seek the help out. And once they are in the office, even for the first time, the stigma comes out. And then their counselor is there to assist them with dispelling what that stigma is. Hopefully most counselors will do that. And that sets them on their journey towards healing.
Yeah.
So I think that what has shifted is that more people are willing to give something a try. Whereas before there was a complete, absolutely not, that's not for me. And I was like, well, I don't know if it's really for me, but I'll test it out and see.
Yeah. Yeah. My experience has been somewhere in the middle of that. I started seeing someone in January of this year. It was December 7th when I realized maybe I need to see someone. And it wasn't anything that I was going through. It was just some reflecting that I was doing as I was writing, kind of getting my head around my next book or the direction of it or what I thought it was going to be at the time. There's some different iterations of it since December, but as I started to reflect on some things, I said, maybe I need to see someone. I was kind of uncovering things and acknowledging things I had never acknowledged. And I got to tell the whole story. It was a day off for me. I was just writing and I just continued to write. So I'm listening to this interview while I'm writing, and the gentleman that's being interviewed is talking about his therapist while I'm writing the stuff, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm this way because of this that happened, and then when this gentleman was talking about therapy, I said, okay, God, I don't know what else. It's loud and clear, and so I started to do some research around therapists, and even though I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, I thought it was time to start to talk and kind of figure out that journey. And I'm like incredibly pleased that I have started it.
That's
Mhm.
good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Um, your Transformative Minds, how long have you all been in business now?
5 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what why your own practice, Dr. Burks?
Um,
Why did you decide to do your own thing?
well, ultimately, I wanted to do my own thing because I wanted to do something for my community. Um, and I wanted there to be individuals to have access to care um, from people that look like them. Um, I also have a concept or a concept around TMC that is really focused on wellness within the community. And so I wasn't able to do that in other spaces that I was working in. So I just decided that maybe this would be an opportunity to do it on my own. So that's kind of where it started.
Yeah. I know we talked about this. I felt like we talked about this, whether we were on or off camera, about the importance of having a counselor that does look like you, that kind of shares some of your same experiences. I
Mhm.
mean, you know, the mental health piece, the therapy piece is hard enough, but
Mhm.
if you have to explain some of the cultural things
Mhm.
to add context, or if there's a disconnect there, it would be even that much more difficult to really get what you need from your counselor, right?
Yeah, I think it's the time amount of time that could be placed in scenarios when you have to feel like you have to teach someone or train someone in your own cultural experience that makes it challenging. And so a lot of clients just want someone who just understands it outright, so they don't have to go through that process. They just want to be able to openly talk without thinking like, oh, now
Let
I
me
have to
add
explain something.
context
Yeah,
to
yeah.
yeah.
So, and I think that that can happen in any realm, right? It could in how that looks like for that person who's going to whoever they seek out, right? So but that's important so that it's like I'm making sure that I'm getting the most out of my time with, that I'm working on me rather than the process of having to explain something.
No, I get it. I mean, in my profession, when I think about working with clients that sort of understand the, importance of strategy, the importance of road mapping, and they want to do what's next, and they want to, like, now we can just talk. Now I don't have to sell you on why it's important for you to do these things. We're already there. Now we can have more productive conversations much more quickly, and it
Mhm.
feels like, you know, it's like a pull versus a push, right? We're kind of all on the same page already, and
Mhm.
we don't have time for that, right? There's
Mhm.
frustration that can come into place. You may be looking for something. How many times are clients looking for something, and they feel like they give up because they don't feel like they've kind of
Yeah.
stopped the journey too
Mhm.
short? Like,
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work to find a counselor, let alone a counselor that you bond with, like you're creating a therapeutic alliance with. Like it takes a lot of work to find someone that you feel like I can sit here and do this process with. And plus, you have to be in that process with someone for a bit of time before you realize that sometimes it can be like instant, like, I've been with that, I've had that first or second meeting, and you're like, yeah, that's that's my counselor. Like that's it right there. And then sometimes it's like, I'm not feeling it. And then also it's like, am I not feeling it because like I'm having this distance with therapy, or am I just really not having that vibe with the counselor that I was hoping for? Or it is my understanding of what a counselor is it just clashing with what's happening in the room? You know what I mean? So it's just like there's so many things that a person has to think about and then have to continue potentially go through the process again with another person. So so I think that sometimes becomes a challenge for people, is that it's not easy.
Mhm.
And there aren't, depending on the area that someone lives in, there may not be a lot of counselors that look like them. And I can say in the, the Detroit area, we're like Black Mecca. So there's a lot more, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're accessible, because there might be insurance connected to it, or
Right.
cost, or the cost of it, or timing that's impacting it. So there's all of these barriers that kind of gets to someone following through and then finding like that person that they're like, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm going to continue that process. And on top of that, they get me, they understand me.
Yeah. Right. And you go through all this, not red tape, but sometimes it feels like red tape, the research, and you're waiting for people to call back, and then the insurance that they take, and and it's affordable otherwise, and
Mm-hmm.
and do all these things meshed in. Okay, second session, first session, third, this is not the right person. Do I feel like doing this again? Right? Am I discouraged from the, am I, do I have some sort of like, um, just, am I exhausted from the entire process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Talk about Michigan Black Therapy Fund, and where that idea originated, and all that for
Um,
me.
so I started the Michigan Black Therapy Fund in July of 2020. Um, and it came out of a place of helplessness, to be honest. It was after George Floyd's murder, and we were already in a pandemic, right? So it's just like all of these things are happening all at once.
Right.
And I know that people were interested in seeking, the increase was out there because we had been home for so long, where people are interested in seeking out services but may not necessarily have access to services. And so a friend of mine in Washington created a fund for the state of Washington, and so I asked her about her process, and this was my way of trying to make sure that people got what they needed in some way, if they needed it. And so the concept essentially is that someone who's seeking services can look through a directory of their Black therapists, um, and choose one of them to receive 4 free sessions. Um, and but on the flip side, the clinician does get paid, because we need access. Clients need access to care and access to a therapist that looks like them. But on the other side, the clinicians still, there's a disparity in regards to pay. And so we want clinicians to be paid for the work that they do. Obviously, there is some pro bono and things like that, but we can't, they still got to eat. So,
Right.
so the fund is to ensure that individuals are still able to receive care,
Yeah.
and the clinicians are able to receive pay. So that was the concept there. Because there's only for so long that a clinician can do pro bono, and only a certain amount of people they can do that for too.
Yeah, and it's, again, it's a shame, right? And it's all these pieces that kind of feed the other, right? So you have this community of Black people that, let's just say, that underrepresented as far as like their presence seeking therapy, getting counseling. You have these Black therapists that are saying, hey, we're here but yeah, this is my profession. My time is valuable. I want to help
I
you.
paid a lot of money.
Right. I can't give you the homie discount for my counseling. This is what
Mhm.
I do, right? And trying to figure out how to build that bridge and figure out the best way to marry the resources with the people that need it the most, because we need it the most, right? Because we don't
Mhm.
have the access. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I'll also say that we're a part of a system, a systemic process, right? And as being a counselor, you're part of a system, and there's only so much that you can do ethically. And so, what you might want to do culturally has its like gray areas and definitely black areas and white areas, like in the span in between. And so, so that becomes a challenge because we understand our ethical code, but our client doesn't understand our ethical code. And so this is kind of a way to make sure that the things are happening that the for both parties, because we're both a part of a marginalized group population
mhm,
in regards to race. And then we have other aspects of that, intersectionality that kind of comes into play. So this was kind of a way to kind of marry the two in a system that we are a part of.
mhm. And yeah, we want, yeah, we're trying to get to the same thing. You need the help. I want to help you. And, you know, I'm going through my own thing because I'm from the same community.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand the importance of it. But again, we want to pay these people for their time and their expertise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, folks aren't just waking up off the couch like with no experience and no education. This is what you all do for a living, and you should be,
Right.
paid in that manner. Um, okay, so someone that's looking uh, for a therapist, someone that is looking just to speak to someone that may be new, they may be it may have been a while since they've sought out any counseling. Where are you pointing them to first?
So the easiest one would be to just Google Black therapist near me. And usually a lot of things will pop up. But there are also other ways. If you have insurance, you can look in this will require some work. This one in particular. If you have insurance, your insurance typically has a directory of people who are um and you want to utilize your insurance. They have a directory of people who are covered. And so you can look there. You might have to do a little search to see who the person is, because they only give you like the names and the locations. So that's another way. There's also Psychology Today, profiles that clinicians use to market themselves. There's um, therapy for Black girls, there's therapy for Black men, um, directories that are out there. And then there's a local, for specifically for Michigan, there's a local, well, I don't think it's specifically for Michigan, it's national. But someone in Michigan created it. It's called Locate Therapy. It's another website where you can look and find clinicians in the country.
What about, I mean, you're not gonna plug the one we just talked about?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we are an option. We're an option, Transformative Mind Counseling, which is in Southfield, Michigan.
Yeah.
And our website is transformativemindcounseling.com, which is a very long website name.
Yeah, but yeah, once you find it, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty Googleable. Um, I just want to say thank you for your passion, for your efforts, and your real care for the community. I want to say just congratulations for all of outstanding. You know, we don't even have time to talk about what you're doing at Saybrook today, but just you continue to challenge yourself, continue to, you know, add folks to your team, you know, be a significant resource in the community for not just people of color, but specifically, you know,
Anyone. Yeah.
for people of color, right? And
Mhm.
matching those folks, and anyone else that's in the same field, please continue to fight the good fight. Think about creative ways to get in front of the people that may need your services, that may not even realize it. For folks that may be considering therapy, start with Google. There's a number of different avenues that you can go, and don't give up. If it's something that you feel like you need to be doing, do a little research. It'll be worth it, right? Because when you find that person, you're gonna unlock some things, and the hope is that you can learn some things about yourself and make sense of some of the things that you may not be able to make sense of right now. And I think personally, that's kind of where I am, just kind of unlocking these doors, and no major like breakthroughs, but truly like some very significant progress, you know, like each session, and that makes me feel like I know myself better.
Mhm.
You know?
And I would like to just let everyone know to just do one thing each day. Even if you're in the process of looking, do one thing each day, at least in the process. And I think that can help you just continuously move you forward into finding the person that you want. And then while you're in the process, do one thing each day towards the goals that you have for your sessions. So continue, just do one thing minimum each day towards that goal.
Yeah, just progress. Progress, not perfection. We just need to keep moving, and you'd be surprised the amount of progress you've made once you look back. If you said at least one thing each day. She is the owner of Transformative Mind Counseling, founder of Michigan Black Therapy Fund, core faculty at Saybrook University, a friend of mine, and a resource. Dr. Asia Burks, thank you again for joining me. This has been good. Of course, there's always so much we can talk about, but I do appreciate your time today.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. For all those that are out there listening, watching, just know that you're all capable. You just need to embrace your own frequency. And until next time, peace.
Welcome into his brain, welcome into his frequency. Enter at your own risk, come be at peace with me.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, please subscribe, share, and also hit that notification button as well. Thank you so much.
Financial literacy to authentic Black history, this real rap.